Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Color X Malice. We just left off right after we had a short talk with Saiki when we were about to look Yanagi up on the computer. So you can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. After leveling that parting shot, Saiki jogged off. I could still laugh while talking to Saiki. Classmates' bonds are powerful. Nothing had changed, but I felt like I could at least look ahead now. I turned back to my workstation and entered Yanagi IG once again. There he is! He apparently started in a local jurisdiction and was assigned to Headquarters Investigation Section 1 4 years ago. So he did work in Investigation Section 1. But he quit the force this year. He's 28. He should have had a long career ahead. None of the available information on him indicated that any problems had come up. Maybe he just didn't like being a cop. He seemed like the most collected out of the three, like someone you could count on. Frankly speaking, I didn't want to believe he was involved in anything related to X-Day. But all the X-Day incidents so far have been large events using video sharing sites. Would they give advance notice to specific people? If it suited their needs. I still don't know why they targeted me, so Sasasuka's suspicions about me are baseless. There was just too much I didn't know. There's only so much I can learn on my own. I need to talk to Yanagi and the others. I didn't know when Yanagi's group would get me, so I texted my little brother to say I might have to stay at the station overnight. Ah yes, the little brother. After I turned my report in to Mochida, I began drowsily nodding off at my desk. Man, what's taking them so long? Why aren't they picking me up?
I've come to escort you, my captive princess. Oh, I guess you're Sleeping Beauty now.
Huh? I looked up in the direction of the voice and gazed upon a man in a white coat. A very beautiful man, but also a very odd man. He likes cats, maybe a little too much. You are?
I'm sorry. I should have introduced myself first.
Kageyuki Shiraishi, 29.
My name is Kageyuki Shiraishi. I run the field ops support team for Shinjuku Station. Nice to meet you, miss.
Oh, hello. Ichika Hoshino. Special Regions Crime Prevention Local Office.
Ah, right. That was your name?
Ah, so they did tell you and you forgot. Huh? I'd heard that CSIs had been temporarily assigned to Shinjuku Station to deal with the X-Day cases. So, he's one of them. Saiki told me once before that the Field Operations Support Team, aka Field Support, was full of eccentrics. Those hair clips, that cat tie pin. He does look rather odd. But why is Field Support coming to talk to SRCPO? Didn't you hear him say he came to get you? I don't think there's anything here for Field Support to pick up.
As I said, I'm here to pick you up.
Huh?
What? You still don't get it? Then I guess I'll have to use my last resort.
Shiraishi then mouthed a word at me without making a sound.
Collar.
My mind came to an immediate halt. I love that picture.
Not another word. Do you want to die?
Not really.
Quiet, or else. You'll die, you know.
Reminded of the voice from before, I started trembling.
You're trembling? How cute. But you can relax now. You won't die even though I know. My job is to take you over to their hideout.
Finally, I understood what Yanagi meant when he said he'd come and get me. So, there's more than 3 of them? And they have somebody in the station working for them?
You're probably feeling hesitant. After all, you're in a pretty odd situation. Hey, how does it feel to know you could basically die at any moment? Come on, tell me.
Tell you? The man flashed a pretty smile, but I sensed something unfathomable from him. Is that really something someone would ask knowing the situation I'm in? My speechlessness only seemed to cause Shiraishi's grin to widen.
You won't tell me? Oh, too bad. It sounds so interesting.
Interesting? That's the last thing I'd call this.
Oh, really? But think about it. It's not every day that you get to come face to face with death.
Some people do, depending on their occupation and habits and hobbies.
So, well, I'm really interested in you. I want to lock you up and study you all day.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. That was supposed to be a joke, right?
Who can say?
With a suggestive smile, he finally let go of my finger. What? I didn't know he was holding my finger. I thought he just put his finger to my lips.
Well, let's go see Yanagi. When you're ready, come to field support.
Without waiting for my response, Shiraishi left. What in the world was that? As I started to think, I touched my neck. I won't solve anything by sitting here and thinking. I need to meet Yanagi's group. I got ready to leave and proceeded to head over to the door with a plate that read, Field Operations Support. I took a deep breath and knocked.
Yes?
A female voice answered.
Sorry for the wait. Can I help you?
Good evening. I'm Ichika Hoshino from the Special Regions Crime Prevention Office.
It's rather unusual for SRCPO to come knocking here.
Eriko Mukai, 27.
I'm Eriko Mukai. I take care of the director Shiraishi.
Take care of? She makes it sound like she's his maid or something. Director? That guy's actually a big shot?
And?
Oh, I have business with Mr. Shiraishi. Is he in?
The director? A moment, please.
Mukai disappeared into the room. And then...
Director, you have a guest. It's rude to make her wait, so you'd better get out there right now. You're awfully rude. Who'd say who takes care of whom? Oh, was that unbecoming of me? It is the truth. Yes, yes. We'll just leave it at that.
I guess it's a matter of some debate.
Well then, we'll be off. Go to work today, Mukai. And you too, sir.
Excuse us. While we walked together, Shiraishi simply looked forward silently. We hadn't known each other very long, so we didn't have much to discuss. But the awkwardness on top of the situation was getting agonizing, so I tried to initiate small talk with him. So, Miss Mukai called you director back at the station.
Yeah, it's just a rank. You cops have them too, don't you? Like officer, sergeant, or inspector.
The people in the crime lab work for the police, but they aren't police officers. So, that didn't explain how Shiraishi became a director. I might have been impolite to Shiraishi when he came to see me at SRCPO. But he was acting really weird, too.
What's wrong?
It's nothing.
Oh, are you surprised that I'm director?
Does it show? Not at all. I was just Oh, oops.
Oh, really? A shady-looking character like me doesn't fit your image of a director.
I didn't say you looked shady. Those are your words, not mine. I never said that.
And that just means you were thinking it, weren't you? So that's how it is. I see. You judge people based on their appearances. Well, I do the same thing, so it's not bad.
I didn't think you looked shady, I just thought you looked weird. I tried to lie to him, but all I did was dig my own grave. I wish he wasn't so critical of other people, too. When I heard he was director, I expected more from him, so I was a little disappointed. What, you expected him to be more mature? Before long, we reached an intersection a good distance from the police station. When we paused to wait for the signal, I heard a heavy sigh next to me.
My goodness. I wish I could just keep studying you with no one else around to interrupt.
What do you mean, keep studying? Are you studying me right now? Study? Something felt off about him the moment we met, and I finally realized that I was like an interesting lab subject to him. He's obviously enjoying this, while my life hangs in the balance. Determined not to be jerked around, I changed the subject. We were already outside Shinjuku Station, so I should be able to ask about the others. Hey.
I won't be answering any questions about Yanagi and his friends, okay?
What? I was stunned that I was denied so abruptly.
Are you surprised that I read your mind?
How did you know?
It's my job. I study people in order to analyze their actions.
You're a profiler?
Correct. I look at the data to build criminal profiles and attempt to see into their minds, and that's what profiling is. While more and more investigations have utilized a profiler recently, those annoying by-the-books investigators from Section 1 don't really let me do what I want.
Shiraishi sighed, disappointment on his face.
Well, this might be perfect timing. If I don't take a break, I'm probably going to snap.
Slightly frightened by Shiraishi's cheerful tone, I revisited the topic. When you figured out what I was thinking, did you analyze me?
I didn't need to do that. You're just really easy to read.
That's not true! I have no poker face.
It absolutely is. The whole time we've been talking, you've been bothered by me, so we haven't been able to have a good conversation. I figured that you'd try to break the ice by trying to initiate conversation. Typically, people in that frame of mind attempt to make small talk. If we worked in the same department, you'd try to talk shop, but we don't. The most common topic you'd have left would be mutual acquaintances. I'd say your most likely course of action would be to ask my relation to Yanagi's group. It would get rid of the awkward silence. You'd get the information you wanted. It'd be ideal. Anyway, I won't delve into any details until we meet Yanagi.
Shiraishi had completely unraveled my exact thought process. Means he's good at what he does. I kind of feel like he's making a fool out of me.
Oh, don't make that pouty face. Analysis is just an occupational disease of mine.
Hard to turn it off.
Besides, I'm actually rather fond of that transparent unreservedness of yours.
That can't be a compliment.
That's not it at all. I guess I should say, you're so cute you're dumb.
I blew past fear and was astounded now at how thoroughly he could read my thoughts. The light changed and Shiraishi walked away. I intentionally fell behind, allowing a bit of distance between us as we walked. After that, we arrived at a corner that was lined with old buildings. This area was lively earlier, but it was now utterly devoid of foot traffic and shrouded in ominous darkness. That's not how the picture looks.
We're here.
Shiraishi pointed to a building with shuttered windows on the first floor.
On the 5th floor of the building, Yanagi and the others have been awaiting your arrival.
I don't expect much of a welcome.
Oh, you just thought I was lying, didn't you? You wounded me, madame.
No I didn't.
Yeah, I was lying. Anyway, one thing before you go.
What is it? What could it be now? Seeing my obvious apprehension, Shiraishi chuckled.
From now on, don't think of me as a superior.
Meaning?
Here there's no hierarchy of the police department. I'm just another member of the team.
I see.
Yup. Well, let's go in.
Wait! What? I darted after Shiraishi, who had suddenly entered the building. Then I noticed the tenant's nameplate. 5th floor, detective agency?
Oh, that's just the name. Don't worry about it. If you don't hurry up, you'll fall behind.
Yes. I hurriedly ran up the stairs after Shiraishi in a panic. And then... I finally set foot into my destination for the evening.
You came. Just sit wherever you like.
Okay. In the room were the 3 men that I met in Shinjuku Garden, along with Shiraishi. Their expressions were all different, but I felt that they were all sizing me up. I couldn't help but feel unwelcome. You could cut the tension with a knife. Pardon me. You guys could be slightly more welcoming, you know. At a loss for what to do, I took a seat on the sofa nearest me and watched Yanagi. The mood seemed a bit chillier than it was during our first encounter. This atmosphere is so heavy. Eee. Just then, Shiraishi emerged from behind a partition with a cup of coffee. He set it down in front of me and then slowly took a seat next to Yanagi on the arm of the sofa. That does not look comfortable at all.
It's okay. They're all good guys despite their looks.
I hope that's true. Despite their looks.
Just spit it out so we can be done with this. We don't have time to waste on you.
Ah, yes, Mr. Tsundere. Let me get out of your way as soon as possible. Sasasuka coldly prodded me to speak, without even glancing up from the computer he was using.
You want to get out of here too, don't you?
True, but why would I? There's 4 hot guys in the room.
No. We won't get anything out of her if you're going to be a grouch. We came all this way to be free from prying eyes, after all. Wouldn't now be a good opportunity to examine her collar? Shiraishi, don't tell me you brought her here just for that. I sure did. What's the problem with that?
I thought you wanted to study me, not the collar. I knew he was just enjoying this. My gloomy mood abruptly turned to anger. I didn't have the luxury of being toyed with right now. I was not in the mood. Oh, I love this picture. I couldn't just simply trust people who would let Shiraishi behave like this. I opened my mouth to vent my roiling indignation.
Why don't we introduce ourselves first? We may very well end up all working together soon.
The shock from both the statement and being interrupted made my eyes go wide. It shut me right up. Working together? What do you mean? Without answering my question, Yanagi simply laid a piece of paper on the table. When I picked it up, I saw it was written with the same red lettering as the earlier note.
We have seen that you possess the skill to assist Ichika Hoshino. She is one of our sympathizers, and a woman with the potential to inherit our will, so treat her with courtesy. Should any harm come to her, we will have no choice but to kill you all.
Huh? How am I their sympathizer? Calling me a sympathizer and threatening them? I was racked with shock, fear, and confusion. My hands trembled, but I kept reading. The note continued.
Nonetheless, we bear no ill will towards your group. On the contrary, we would prefer to join hands. You, who question the form of righteousness that the police cling to, would surely find our concept of justice more agreeable. Of course, we do not expect you to be persuaded by mere words. So please, try to grasp the truth of the X-Day incidents. Discover our true intentions. You have until midnight on January 1st. We'll be watching you via Ichika Hoshino.
What on earth do these people want? Joining hands? Does that mean these people are potentially murderers too? And there's not a word about the collar. They said they'd be watching through me. So, I'm going to be wearing it forever? Disturbed, I put down the letter. Sasasuka spoke instantly, as if he was waiting for me.
So, now we know there's a high probability that you're connected to the culprits.
What? Don't go assuming that on your own! I raised my voice at him without thinking. But I hadn't joined the X-Day thugs at all, so I couldn't let unchecked accusations stand.
She doesn't seem like she's lying. Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man. We don't know anything for sure. Oh, it's pretty unusual for you to contradict Minamoto. Huh? No. I wasn't trying to criticize you, Shiraishi.
Are you afraid of him? Or does he just respect him?
It's just, there's some people here who can't see through lies is all. We don't know what type of person she is.
Minamoto looked glum. Seeing that gave me a different image of him than I had earlier. They might have their own set of unfortunate circumstances, but that doesn't mean I can let them pin this all on me. We don't know what the criminals want, but... I sat on the sofa and looked at Yanagi. He nodded in understanding.
I can theorize until eternity. Let's hear what you have to say first.
Thank you for listening.
Hoshino, could you tell us in detail what happened back in Shinjuku Garden?
Yes. They mentioned justice in the letter. When the criminals spoke to me through the collar, they were fixated on justice too. When the collar was put on me, the criminals spoke to me for a little bit. I felt like I was being interrogated, as I stated that I had no clue why I was targeted. I didn't understand the criminals' claims, and, as a police officer, that I'd done no wrong.
I understand what you're saying. We don't have any solid evidence that connects you to the criminals, other than their word. We can't just assume that you're with them. Yanagi. Enomoto, even if she is a spy, did we reveal any info to the criminals that would cause any problems for us? Feel free to suspect her if you want, but I feel like we won't get anywhere until we trust her. Our pursuit of the X-Day incidents is important, but we should also look at that collar of yours. Hoshino, even though it was unintentional on your part, that collar is a great lead on the criminals. I say we should make use of whatever we have. I'm also sure that you're going to be unable to relax until we do something about it.
That's true. He's actually concerned for my safety. Even though the collar and its ties to the culprits was what they were interested in, it was still very heartening to hear him actually worry about my well-being. But if you're going to examine the collar...
I need to mention something.
Everyone surprised? A sudden voice made itself known and directed everybody's attention to my collar.
It is futile to attempt to remove the collar. If you insist on trying, we cannot guarantee her safety. You are free to examine it, but if you do anything to inconvenience us, you will also be putting her life in jeopardy. Please investigate the X-Day incidents. Once you learn the truth, I'm sure you will exact your form of justice. You will learn whether or not you believe it is right to oppose our will.
So, was that them just now? A warning or a threat, one might say. They bothered to wait till we'd all gathered. They sure craved the spotlight. Hoshino, are you all right?
Yes, sorry. The criminals are monitoring everything about me through the collar. It was the first time they'd contacted me since I was paralyzed. It looks like they wanted everyone to be sure that they're always watching. I started to feel that this was hopeless, and I wrung my hands on my lap.
Well, working together with them is definitely off the table. Even though we all quit, we were cops once, right?
I looked up. All of you were police? I did verify that Yanagi was a former officer. Enomoto and Sasasuka, were you two also police officers?
Well... Dumbass. Should I just sew your mouth shut? My tongue just slipped. Just one slip.
So, it's true then. When I pressed him on it, Enomoto looked to Yanagi for a plea for support. Well, it's too late now. Nothing you can do. I know.
We can't hide it, can we? All she has to do is look it up at the station. Right. We should get this over with. You two introduce yourselves to Hoshino. After all, we're probably going to be seeing her a lot more often now. Roger that.
Ah, so cute. Enomoto quietly cleared his throat. Then he turned to me and made eye contact. He took a deep breath.
Here we go. Perk up your ears and listen well. Formerly assigned to Field Ops Team 2, before you stands a Kabukimono rivaling Keiji Maida. The crooks I've arrested are without number. A shining silver samurai worth 1,000 cops. A paragon standing alone neath the stars.
Dramatic much? Him and his tiny little fan.
That is I, Mineo Enomoto. Don't forget it, rookie.
Looking so self-satisfied. Mineo Enomoto, 23. Why all the kabuki mannerisms? Oh, he did say he's a kabuki mono.
Hey, you don't need to humor him. I don't know if he's got a talent or a condition, but he's a subject I like to observe at a distance.
Not close up? Right.
Don't mind him, Hoshino. That's just how Enomoto hides his nerves. He's just a bit of an awkward guy.
Aww.
Paragon of nincompoops, more like it. Oh yeah? I will not tolerate any further slights. Anyway, it's your turn, Takeru.
Takeru Sasazuka, 24. Oh, he's actually even older than Enomoto. Is Enomoto actually the youngest one? For once in my life, I like the youngest character? Oh my god, this game is turning me on my head.
I was in the cybercrimes division. Takeru Sasazuka. That's all.
Short but sweet? Enomoto's introduction was so dynamic that this feels somewhat lacking. Sasazuka has no showmanship. Thinking back to what I'd overheard in the office, I remembered hearing about cybercrime prevention a few times. If I recall correctly, that division was quite difficult to get into. His skill must be the real deal if you got in at his age. Anyway, it couldn't be a coincidence that everyone here was related to the police. Is the reason you all quit the force because you question the righteousness of the police, like the letter mentioned? I knew I was prying, but I figured I might as well take a shot. Look at me when I'm talking to you! Sasazuka and Enomoto averted their eyes. Maybe they didn't want to talk about it. Only Yanagi looked me in the eyes and answered my question.
It's true that we all quit for our own individual reasons. I couldn't follow the department's policy. I wouldn't be able to solve the case as a police officer. So I left. I've continued to pursue it on my own.
I see. They obviously all had their own baggage. That was why all these fellow ex-officers had gravitated to each other to pursue the case. I could understand that much. I wonder how they found each other, though.
Hey, setting you three aside for the moment, do you think the bad guys included me when they were talking about joining hands?
Probably. Shiraishi spoke flippantly while waving the note around, as if to break the tense mood. Oh, right. In his own eccentric way, Shiraishi brought up a valid point. Shiraishi, you still work with the police, so how did you know about all this? If the messages are to be trusted, I'll be killed if the police know about this.
Somehow, the first letter, and the one that said you would die, was slipped into some case files I was handling.
What?
They were documents I got from Section 1, but they were addressed to a detective agency. So I, as a member of this agency, took it to the others, and then we found you. A woman would die if the police found out, right? Obviously, I couldn't call it in.
He smiled as he said that, so it seemed to me that he was more amused than concerned. It still doesn't feel right to me that a current police employee is involved here.
And the second letter you just saw was left on the table in this office after we found you at Shinjuku Garden.
Huh? The first letter was a notice, so the second was deliberately planted here after they confirmed my rescue? The first letter leads me to believe someone currently in Investigation 6 HQ was involved. But to leave the second letter here in this office... Did the person who put this collar on me come here before the others had returned? That seemed unrealistic. The culprit would have needed to track these three to avoid encountering them. What's suspicious is... There were too many possibilities, but one suspicion within my mind grew. Notice has been added to materials. Letter from Adonis has been added to materials.
Well, lady who's been turned into a pet cat, can we examine your collar?
Huh? My head snapped to attention after I heard Sasazuka's sudden remark.
Sasazuka.
Now hold on a second. Why are you calling me a pet cat?
Can't you see it? There's a picture of a cat on your collar.
What? I didn't want people to see the collar, so I'd done my best to hide it.
Also, one of the standard X-Day calling cards, a coin, was left at the site where you went down. The coins had the same cat motif as on your collar, with the anemone flowers on the back. It's the symbol of the terrorist group, claiming responsibility for X Day, Adonis. You've probably seen it before.
Yeah.
I had Shiraishi examine it back at the station. It's the same as the coins that had been left at the other crime scenes. But there wasn't a Roman numeral counting down to X Day this time. If this was to be the December incident, then there should have been an I written there. If it was just the collar, we could possibly dismiss this as a copycat crime. But that coin means... The perpetrator is related to the X Day cases, without a doubt. Don't steal my line, man! I was building up for the best part! Like I care. It's your own fault for squandering the moment. Urgh.
Coin and Roman numerals has been added to materials. I sort of felt bad for Enomoto, but I also really didn't think this was the time. Somebody related to X Day put this collar around my neck. That means finding out who did this will be no easy task. The entire police force was investigating X Day, and they'd gotten nowhere. There was only so much headway I'd be able to make on my own.
So, the collar. Can we see it?
Huh? Oh, don't huh. He's asked you twice now. Sasasuka raised his voice again, irritated. I sat there not understanding the question.
The voice from the collar said that we were free to examine it. No, but isn't that a bad idea? They also said they'd kill her if we caused any trouble for them.
They'll kill her if we try to take it off, but we're also free to examine it. There's obviously a difference, idiot.
So, what does that mean?
Exactly what he said! Why is Takeru not speaking English? Why is nobody understanding what Takeru is saying?
It's a test. They're daring us to figure out what we can. I think the risk is too great. We don't understand how they think yet, so we shouldn't take any unnecessary risks.
I think looking at it's fine, just don't poke it with anything.
I won't be cracking anything. We can at least check for the type of EMP waves coming off the collar. It wouldn't hurt to see what kind of countermeasures they built into it.
I wasn't able to keep up with the conversation at all. What? Ah! He's speaking plain English. I understood that. It doesn't take a PhD.
Yanagi, if you say leave it be, I will. We can just go back to pursuing the case. Hoshino, you can trust Sasasuka. Do you want to let him take a look?
It's not dangerous, is it?
The criminal's goal isn't to kill you. You'll be okay as long as we obey their rules. Do you understand?
Yes.
They said we were free to examine the collar. As Sasasuka said, they're sure we won't find them. But we should at least get a sense of its general structure, because I think it'll be important.
Couldn't it hurt to know? Yanagi was persuasive. They could kill me whenever they felt like it, so there had to be a reason they hadn't yet. That was a weakness we could exploit.
I won't say that this is without risk. It's your life at stake, so we won't force you. Make up your mind. I'll wait 10 seconds.
That's no time to think. Are they going to force me or not? 10 seconds? What's wrong with this guy?
Make me wait longer and I'll decide for you.
There was poison in the collar. I haven't been able to relax since it was put on. I don't know when I'll be killed. If that's the case... Please do it, Sasasuka. And please don't provoke them. I had no idea how he would examine it. I didn't know anything about his skills. But I thought it was the right call because Yanagi said we'd be collaborating from now on.
Too late. 10 seconds was up a while ago.
Oh, come on, you still want to look at it anyway. I know you do. Anyway, we're gonna have to stop that video there. I think I've gone on a bit too long. And we're still in Chapter 0. Well, I think next episode we're not gonna finish Chapter 0, but I think next episode will be caught up to where I was before. Which will be nice. So I hope to see you there or in some of my other videos. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye everybody.